Carl Ferdinand Braun was a German inventor, physicist and Nobel laureate in physics. Braun contributed significantly to the development of radio and television technology. He shared with Guglielmo Marconi the 1909 Nobel Prize in Physics. Biography. Braun was born in Fulda, Germany, and educated at the University of Marburg and received a Ph.D. from the University of Berlin in 1872. In 1874 he discovered that a point-contact semiconductor rectifies alternating current. He became director of the Physical Institute and professor of physics at the University of Strasbourg in 1895. In 1897 he built the first cathode ray tube and cathode ray tube oscilloscope. Cort became the cornerstone in developing fully electronic television. In the early 21st century the Cort technology started to be replaced by flat-screen technologies, light-emitting diode and plasma displays, on television sets and computer monitors. The Cort is still called the Braun tube in German-speaking countries and in Japan. During the development of radio, he also worked on wireless telegraphy. In 1897 Braun joined the line of wireless pioneers. His major contributions were the introduction of a closed-tuned circuit in the generating part of the transmitter, and its separation from the radiating part by means of inductive coupling, and later on the usage of crystals for receiving purposes. Wireless telegraphy claimed drive Braun's full attention in 1898, and for many years after that he applied himself almost exclusively to the task of solving its problems. Dr. Braun had written extensively on wireless subjects and was well known through his many contributions to the Electrician and other scientific journals. In 1899, he would apply for the patents electrotelegraphy by means of condensers and induction coils and wireless electro-transmission of signals over surfaces. Around 1898, he invented a crystal diode rectifier or cat's whisker diode. Pioneers working on wireless devices eventually came to a limit of distance they could cover. Connecting the antenna directly to the spark gap produced only a heavily damped pulse train. There were only a few cycles before oscillation ceased. Braun's circuit afforded a much longer sustained oscillation because the energy encountered less losses swinging between coil and Leyden jars, and by means of inductive antenna coupling the radiator was better matched to the generator. The resultant stronger and less bandwidth-consuming signals bridged a much longer distance. Braun invented the phased array antenna in 1905. He described in his Nobel Prize lecture how he carefully arranged 3 antennas to transmit a directional signal. This invention led to the development of radar, smart antennas, and MIMO. Braun's British patent on tuning was used by Marconi in many of his tuning patents. Guglielmo Marconi used Braun's patents. Marconi would later admit to Braun himself that he had borrowed portions of Braun's work. In 1909, Braun shared the Nobel Prize for Physics with Marconi for contributions to the development of wireless telegraphy. The prize awarded to Braun in 1909 depicts this design. Braun experimented at first at the University of Strasbourg. Not before long he bridged a distance of 42 kilometers to the city of Mutzig. In spring 1899, Braun, accompanied by his colleagues Cantor and Zenneck, went to Cuxhaven to continue their experiments at the North Sea. On the 24th of September 1900, radiotelegraphy signals were exchanged regularly with the island of Heligoland over a distance of 62 kilometers. Light vessels in the River Albina coast station at Cuxhaven commenced a regular radio telegraph service. Braun went to the United States at the beginning of World War I to help defend the German wireless station at Sayville, New York, against attacks by the British-controlled Marconi Corporation. After the U.S. entered the war, Braun was detained, but could move freely within Brooklyn, New York. Braun died in his house in Brooklyn, before the war ended in 1918. Sid Carl Ferdinand Braun Prize. In 1987, the Society for Information Display created the Carl Ferdinand Braun Prize, awarded for an outstanding technical achievement in display technology. Patents. U.S. Patent 0,750,429, wireless electric transmission of signals over surfaces. U.S. Patent 0,763,345, means for tuning and adjusting electric circuits.
The cathode ray tube is a device used to display images on a screen. It was invented in 1897 by German physicist Carl Ferdinand Braun. So what exactly is it? A cathode ray tube is a glass vacuum tube that a beam of electrons is shot through, known as the cathode ray. The electrons are emitted from an electron gun. An electron gun is made of a cathode, which is heated to emit electrons, and an anode, which focuses the electrons into a thin beam. This beam easily travels through the vacuum and is illuminated by a screen coated in a fluorescent substance. Since this beam has a negative charge, it can be affected by magnets, which are used to bend the beam. When done fast enough, an image can be displayed. Braun used his invention as a way to visualize patterns in electrical signals. Up until the 21st century, almost all displays, including TVs and computer monitors, used a cathode ray tube. These CRTs contain 3 electron guns, each corresponding to red, green, or blue dots of fluorescent material that cover the screen in a repeating pattern. These 3 colors of light can mix to produce any color image. Today, CRT displays are obsolete, replaced with LED, LCD, and plasma flat-screen displays.